I think we're live. We shall see. You know, you always got to wait for the software, but it appears to be live. So I'm just going to do some gibberish really quick until I know we're live for sure, and then we'll dive into it. All right, guys. So it looks like it's telling me that we are live. Let me pull up the stream on my side as well, and let me mute it so you guys don't hear the double audio. But if you guys are hearing me already, welcome. Yep, there it is. I just heard myself in the stream. So, what's up?
Yeah.
What's happening? How's everybody doing? How's it going? Hope everyone's healthy and all of the above. All right, so welcome to the latest episode of the Sim Standard Podcast. Myself, SimFBallCritic, my brother Smitty, AzureEffect in spirit, and we representing for everybody, man. Shout outs to First and Frame Race. Those guys came through last week and helped, bless you guys with another show. That was a collaborative effort. NY Kia, expert. Great show, great show. So tonight, man, Smitty and I want to basically just talk about, the beta. Last week, y'all know we were itching to play the beta as the beta released as we were on the show. We had a chance to play it. You guys have seen my thoughts in a video. And there you have it. And to be honest, I'm not sure if Smitty did a video or a Periscope, because sometimes I catch Smitty on Twitter doing his Periscope, but I don't know if he did a video or a stream. Either way, I know he did something to give you
Yeah.
his thoughts.
No, I didn't do it. So
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
I'll speak my piece tonight.
Oh, great. So y'all
Yep.
gonna get it fresh off the press. So all right, man. First thing I'm gonna dive into, and let me just find it here to make sure I have it correct. You guys see me looking at the computer. Let me just say this. You guys know, well, maybe y'all don't know, but I got an invite to speak to someone, and I said I would in a DM until I, did some background and found out some information for myself and things of that nature, and I kind of decided against it. But I wanted to say it here for two reasons. For one, I have nothing to hide. I'd rather do it publicly so it's out there. So everybody knows how I feel about it. Everybody knows what I said. You can't misconstrue what I said. You can't take a DM and try to chop it up to your liking. Not saying that this person would. I'm just saying, if I do it live in front of the audience, you guys could know exactly where I stand, and you guys could say, well, that's how Sim felt about it, blah, blah, blah. So let me just tell you guys what it's about. It's a guy, and again, no disrespect to you, my man, because, again, I really don't know much about you. If I say your name wrong or what have you, it's no disrespect intended. But I'm going to make sure he sees this, because I'm going to send him this link as soon as we're done with the show. It's right here at the beginning. So, I didn't want to waste any time on it. On Twitter, he goes by Yo Mama, and his name, I guess the name actually is Javon Lakey, or Lakey. Again, I don't know how to pronounce it, but he goes by at Yo Mama. He did a video on Twitter that I was tagged in. He said, basically, he was going at sim guys, going at comp guys, and saying negative things about both, and saying, the reason why sim guys are stupid and this and that and the third. And none of that I took personal, right? So I replied, I said, well, apparently I didn't get this invite because, I'm willing to talk to anybody. So he said, all right, I sent you a DM. Now, side note, if you send a DM to me on Twitter, you might as well send it to purgatory. I check Twitter randomly. I definitely don't check my DMs. I just don't. That ain't no disrespect to nobody. I just don't. It just is what it is. So anyway, he said, all right, check it. I said, okay, I will. I checked it and I said, look, man, I have no problem with coming on your show and talking to you, about the sim situation versus the comp situation. And, he claims that he's talked to guys high up the ladder and they want us to talk, and, I did my research. I talked to certain people in EA, and got their opinion on it. I also talked to some other people in the community. And first and foremost, I kind of did my own research. I went through the timeline and kind of tried to, learn your history, and I've decided that I'm not going to come on the show. I don't really want it to have anything to do with the angle you take. And again, this is not a slight to you. I'm just being a man at the end of the day, saying it to you in front of everybody else. I'm a man of integrity, and I just don't agree with some of the way you approach things. It's not saying that you are a bad person, and I don't know you. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't know you. You don't know me, other than these YouTube and social media personalities. We don't know each other. So I'm not trying to take a shot at your character. Nothing like that. I can only judge you by who you present yourself to be in this world. And like I said, kind of looking at your approach, I don't really want to associate myself with that. If comp guys want to talk, I'm always open for that. From the top to the lowest. And like I said, I've chopped it up with guys like Problem. I've chopped it up with Skimbo, Serious Mo, a couple of these guys, Master Gamer. A couple of these guys I've met in person and we had conversation. Gibbs and Farrells. Y'all know my history with them. When me and Smitty and Azure first went to EA, we looking at them like like they the enemy. Come to find out, man, we're not that far apart. It was actually Gibbs and Farrells who brought me to the light and was like, Lord, man, listen, if the game wouldn't allow me to do that, I wouldn't do that. And I was like, okay, I feel you. It's a game. You can only play the game how it's presented. I get it. So I say all that to say this. Again, I wanted to be a man about it. I didn't want to do it in DMs again, man, because like I said, when it's in the public, it's in the public. And everybody will know what I said, know where I stand. There's no misconstruing. There's no, and that goes for all parties. I'm not just talking about you or me. I'm just saying, when you do certain business, it's better to do it in the light where people know it really what it was. And if somebody wants to misconstrue it for what it wasn't, you always got this as a record to say, well, look, this is what I said. So again, Yo Mama, Javon Lakey, I'm going to decide, man, to decline, not come on the show, not chop it up and mingle and have that conversation. Because again, I just said I don't necessarily agree with, some of the ways that you move. You know what I'm saying? Again, like I don't know you personally. Let's put that out there. I don't know you. I'm not saying you are a bad person or nothing like that. I just don't agree with the way you conducted yourself via Twitter and interacting with people, whether it be the community, devs, this, that, and the third. It's just not, it's just not something I want to associate with. And then as a man, I hope you can respect that and say, all right, cool. Go your way, I go my way. If you decide to, say other things, that's on you. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm just saying. Did my research. After doing my research, I've decided, nah, I'll pass. So that's it. Smitty, I don't know if you want to chime in on anything in regards to that or not. Outside of that, guys, we're going to dive into just talking about the beta and our experience with it. But, if Smitty wants to chime in on that particular subject, feel free, Smitty, before we dive in.
Yeah, I'll just say this, because your mama has reached out to me multiple times over the years. Like I would say at least the past 2 games. He's used me in his videos, like when he's doing his rants, going in, things like that. He spoke of me then, using me as an example.
Oh, hold on, Smitty. Let me say this too, because this is very important.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah.
So, as a side note, even if, forget everything else I said, I got to rock with my dog. That's real. Like, we ain't even talk about video games no more. I'm going to rock with my man regardless. What I look like, right? What I look like chopping it up with somebody who been clowning my man. Or attempting to clown my man. Let's keep it real for a second, chat. What I look like doing that? I'm over here, kikiing or whatever with somebody who then you talk about character, I ain't doing that. I didn't know any of this. Because again, I don't know dude. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. I just wanted to say that as a side note.
So no, but he's made when I would do my Periscope, some of you guys know I'll do my little Periscope joints, and he would literally like freeze frame like I was still at some point of me doing my talking or whatever. He cut out where my mouth is, and then he would be saying his stuff, mimicking my voice and saying, funny things and all that. So it's like he does stuff like he's done multiple things that I've seen, and then he still is reaching out, hey man, come to my show, let's talk. And it's like I really don't feel like talking to him because of the exact point Sim has made. But at the same time, you're what you say, the way you roll, when you roll like that, you lose a lot of respect from me off top. I don't care. You play at Madden tournaments, you play at national tournaments, all that. That's nice. But you don't have that much credibility with me when you do stuff like that. You lose character credibility with me when you do stuff like that. When you act that childish. And you know what I'm saying? And I mean, you could be mature about stuff and you can choose to be petty. And you chose to be petty, you chose to be childish, and that's fine. But don't try to use this game as an angle to be like, oh man, we need to talk. Listen, you're not the gatekeeper when it comes to the comp community. If you are, you're doing a horrendous job of it. Because you have, and this is a point I want to make. Just as far going outside of him, I'm going to stem off of him because he's part of that community. This whole comp and sim thing, he's making a point saying EA doesn't know what to do as far as making the game because sim guys want it one way and comp guys want it another way. That's absolutely that's bullcrap. Because if that's the case, then how come MLB The Show is where it is? MLB The Show, FIFA. FIFA. I mean, FIFA has its issues, but still, you can look at PES, NHL, NBA 2K. You see where those games are? Look at My League and all the depth that's in there. My League, My GM. You think the tournament, My League, not My League, excuse me, the 2K League hopefuls had to come together with the sim guys in order for that to happen? No. 2K just made the game. You think the PES, I don't know, tournament hopefuls or whatever had to come together with the hardcore simulation soccer people in order to get PES to where it is? No. Konami just made the game. So it doesn't take, oh, we got to sit down and we got to figure out what we need to. No, we don't. We don't need to do any of that. I can easily tell you. If you guys, matter of fact, here, hold on, let me find it. Let me find him real quick. But as I'm searching this, just to point this out. See, guys like myself and SimFBall, we are, before we seen Deuce Douglas, let's use the franchise example. Before we even knew who Deuce Douglas was, or before even anyone else knew who Deuce Douglas was, understand this. We have our own vision of what we want franchise mode to be. Sim has his belief. I have mine. Fellas, people in the chat, other YouTube creators, all that. People have their own belief. Man, if they had coaching carousel, everything would be tight. Then that's all they need. You got other people, they want the draft board. You got other people, they want presentation to be an impactful thing. They want micromanagement, when it comes to hurt players and injured players and rehabbing and all that. But the bottom line is, even though people say certain elements added into the fold will make it great, the key thing that you can hone in on is that, everybody is heading towards the same destination. Everyone is going straight towards the destination of, we want a greater, more in-depth franchise mode. Add this, add that. It's a gumbo pot of all different ways, all different types that they want. But at the end of the day, They want what literally is happening in the NFL, like how it was emulated in years past on PS2 or whatever, NFL 2K5 and such. Give us that NFL experience and immersion in depth. Even though people are given different ideas, same direction. Even when it comes to gameplay, you can make that same point. This is where the problem comes in with the comp guys, the comp/tourney guys. See, you guys, and I've literally heard W and Problem at EA Play. This was like around Madden 19 for Madden 19. This was in 2018. W and Problem sitting up there at the EA booth talking to Clint about real world X's and O's execution on defense and how it needs to be improved, how it needs to be much better. Not just, I need to be able to play zones. I need to be able to do. No. It's real world execution, real world play. But then you see W go home, and what is it? What kind of stuff does he say? If you want realism and all that stuff, go to the store, buy a football, and go outside. Whether he's joking or not, the bottom line is that's the way that these guys talk. So you want real world execution, but you wanted to play video gaming. Because at the end of the day, when something doesn't execute in real world fashion and Sim Guy has problem with it, your thing is, well, you guys need to go outside and play. Oh, it's a video game. But you literally were at the booth at EA Play talking about you want real world execution. See, it's like you want to be able to sit up on that stage and say, yeah, I was running Tampa 2 all day. And, he usually likes to throw shallow routes. So I like to play underneath. You know what I'm saying? So that way you can use all those game terms and all those football terms to make it sound football, right? So that way you're in the room, you're in the realm, right? But ultimately, you want this game to be playing like Madden Arcade, NFL Blitz, NFL Tour, NFL Street. That's what you want. You want to be able to execute like that. Let's look at this feedback here from Young Kiv. What do you say? Throw out of sack hurts you way more than it helps you and shouldn't be in the game.
Shout out to
Young Kiv.
But
Young Kiv. No, yeah, shout out to Young Kiv. Shout out to Young Kiv for that reason.
Come on, Young
Shout out to Young Kiv for that reason. That's exactly
Yeah.
You said this is a guy hoisted belts for
go get him.
Won all kinds of money. See what I'm saying? W is another one, hoisted belts and all that. These guys y'all are like this. This is what y'all doing. Y'all are literally button heads clashing like this, and y'all think that's unity. But then you bring that stuff over to our tranquility. We flowing. We a river. We flowing. We on one accord. Different ideas and everything, but we're all on one accord in terms of where we want it to go. And then y'all come through with y'all mess and mess the game up, and then you say it's our fault. We ruining the game. Oh, you guys just need to learn how to play Mutt. You guys need to no. Don't get it twisted. Just because you have a tournament on a stage doesn't mean that you're doing it the right way. Trust me, the game looks bad on that stage. Okay, so let's not get it twisted. You got a punter at quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Winning tournaments and stuff. Come on. So that's the key thing now I want to say. So when my man, when your mama wants to come up and be funny and do his satire and all that, you could crack jokes on me all day. Do it. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, you need to police Young Kiv. Look what he said. This is a Madden champion. You talking about talking to me. What you gotta talk to me for? Your man said throwing out a sack shouldn't be in the game. That happens in the NFL. So what's supposed to happen here? See? This is what your crowd does. But then I got into debates with Coach K, and all due respect to him, but it's like when they talked about the AI and everything, the adaptive AI. Oh, so you're saying you want the game to play for you? That's what you guys are saying. I'm like, but if you watch every Madden tournament, you CPU don't the
Control one
CPU
guy.
makes plays. The CPU makes plays for you guys all the time. So, but yet you're sitting up here and saying, I mean, I could have swore I saw Joke on that stage getting amped about running blitzes and CPU controlled players getting in the backfield and getting set. So that's why I got the card. That's what. So okay, it's like it's okay when the CPU's making plays for those guys, but then when we call it out, it's so you want the CPU to make all the plays for you. No, no one is saying that we want the CPU to make every play. We want to see the CPU play logically in terms of what's happening on the field, not do everything for us. See, NBA 2K does a real good job of that for the most part. Logically, people get in a position, people, you know what I mean, adjust and everything, even in PES. So no, it's not that. And that's what I'm saying. It's like just like what Kiv said here, and I'll throw it back to Sim. Because this is just a loaded point here that I'm just saying though, but
Yeah.
You guys want to take this game thing. I ain't got one of my little blankets from the hospital, but y'all literally want to swaddle it. Y'all want to wrap it up. Y'all want to swaddle that thing, and you want to make sure I'm gonna put it under the blanket. I'm gonna make sure I got it under my arm right here, and I'm just gonna make sure I got it cuddled nice and tight, so that way the game never is gonna change. No matter what, it's never gonna change. No, you can't do that. Madden can't keep being coddled, and you guys literally do that kind of stuff. That's why this game can't advance. You have a Madden tournament champion here that literally is saying throwing out a sack shouldn't even be in the game. And that's a legit great feature. That's like you're bringing something that was on PS2 in the first place, you're bringing it back, but in a better fashion because you made it more contextual and you made it more organic based off of contact. I like the feature. So yes, like we need more of this. And this goes right into the points that Sim has been making for many years. Organic gameplay. This is yet another little wrinkle of organic gameplay giving us those dynamic outcome potential. That's what we're saying. We just want it
Yeah.
across the board.
And the
But
physics that goes with it.
yeah, like it's
I
good.
enjoyed
So
that part.
come on, man. But but that's why I said I said my piece about Yo Mama, but this also stems into that whole turning thing and all that. But it's points like these that are being made by these guys that got the voice, that got the notoriety, and that's how we mess around and come what October or September, October, that first title update, this game is nerfed back to Madden 20 and 19 and 18, like all the things that made those games problematic. That's exactly what ends up being rolled back because of how guys keep on doing stuff like this. Like we can't keep having it this way. At some point, the end user, just like I say to my man Dre, if he comes in, my man Obi Watson, same thing. At some point, even with NBA 2K, it's the same thing. Users have to evolve to the game and the way it changes. It can't just be, well, I want it to be the same. No, it don't feel the same. It's not supposed to feel the same. And that's the main point at the end of the day. So I'll throw it to Sim, man. But that just folk gotta adapt, man, for real. And
Yeah.
control your crowd. So Yo Mama, he gets back to this. Yo Mama, control your crowd. Get your crowd flowing in harmony. Start off with your man Kids and get him in order. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk
Yeah.
about we need to come together? No, he needs to watch the NFL. That's what happens in the NFL. And plus, EA, the company, they're the ones that said Andrew Wilson stood on that stage, like I said a month ago. Andrew Wilson stood on that stage and told us what Ignite was supposed to be. He said simulation. He
Yep.
said a true player movement and human intelligence and stuff. It wasn't me. It wasn't Sim. We weren't there. We weren't there.
Oh, we
He was the
got a special guest in the chat. Go ahead, Smitty.
you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, at the end of the day, that's why I'm just saying, like, yo, I'm sorry, they got to step it up. They gotta step it up, man, and do better. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about, Sim.
I ain't gonna say
Okay.
who it is, just in
Yeah, yeah,
case
yeah, yeah,
you want to
yeah,
be incognito and people
yeah,
figure it out. It's all love, but I'm
yeah.
not even gonna say. But what's good, brother?
My man, brother from another mother. What's going on?
Surely wish that I'm not even gonna say who. Well, let's just say this. I surely wish a simulation product was. Surely wish the opportunity was there to make a simulation product. Let's just say that.
I'll say this
Because
to top.
Ace, like you just said, I'm sure would be in the football
That's
game.
that's exactly what I was about to say. Like, let them make a football game and throw that ace in there. That's what I'm saying. Woo. You want
Wow.
to talk about? Oh, guys.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, guys, we'll dive right into the beta. So again, man, just to bring their first point home, for you guys that didn't see it, I just was addressing the guy Yo Mama on Twitter. Reached out, had some crazy things to say in terms of not crazy, but just calling out sim guys, calling out comp guys, and said sim guys are scared to talk and blah blah blah. And so I replied, was like, look, I'll talk. Didn't know much about him, right? So of course, responsibly, I did my research. I researched him on my own. I, reached out to some people at EA that I know that may have conversed with him. I, reached out to my people here, Smitty and guys that was on the show last week, some other guys, and everybody kind of had the same thoughts. But like I said, as I went through my own investigation, just don't like some of the moves and some of the approach and how you went at Smitty before, like, so I said, nah, even though again I said in the DM, sure, I'd be willing to come on. This is before I did my research. Silly me. So at this point, I'm gonna have to decline. So that's what the first part of the show was about. Now, let's talk about the beta. We might as well go with the elephant in the room before we even, talk about everything else. The biggest problem or the biggest issue that everyone talked about was user defense. I'll be very brief because I think I detailed it in the individual video that I did. I like the fact that number one, you cannot cover 3 and 4 routes with one guy. You can't lurk that many routes. Number two, please stop trying to use real world clips of certain people who are able to take away these routes in real life. Because that was the argument with some. What they're neglecting to say is the distance of these routes, how quick, particularly the Tyrann Matthew example. You see how quick he did the read and react. It wasn't like I'm gonna go here, make me a cup of coffee, then I'm gonna run back to the post. That didn't happen. It was very quick. It was nothing like how it happens in Madden 20. Number three, can I agree that the players felt a little slow? Yeah, a little bit. NYKia pointed that out, and I fully agree. They did kind of feel like they weren't playing fast, if that makes sense. So what I propose, and then I'll definitely throw it to Smitty, because you guys heard my video. Smitty hasn't, so I'm gonna rely on Smitty a lot tonight to let him give his thoughts. You guys probably saw my video. One thing I will say is this: the change of direction aspect, don't change that. That's what I was referring to when I kept saying, do not change it. It should be that way. If you're playing in real football, heck, in basketball, if you commit to one direction, you can't just twitchy and whoop and go. You can't do that. In football, if you cannot play like close to the line of scrimmage, run over and try to jump a slant, and then boogie all the way back to a post and get a pick, that you also get that little extra jump boost when you hit the button. You cannot do that in real life. People like Tyrann Matthew, and you guys see all the memorabilia and whatever you want to call it in the back. Y'all know I seen a player that was capable of doing that kind of stuff in a Troy Polamalu, but let me tell you something. Troy still couldn't do it the way it's done in Madden 20. It was instinctive. You know what I'm saying? So I will agree, if you change anything, I'm not opposed to changing the speed without compromising the change of direction. If I commit to a spot, let me get there to the best of my ability based on my rating. You know, don't make it overly slug. See, and the reason why I have to say this too, for most of you guys that play Madden, I know, you know, guys like NY Kia would know this. Shout outs to Smooth with the donation. Guys like Smooth would know this. The thing is, if there's nothing wrong with being able to bait and fake, but you just can't move that fast. Like when you commit, you have to commit. And you know what I'm saying? Like it has to get to a point where you're really lurking. You know what I'm saying? Like you played it so well that wow, that was a great read by the user controlled defender. But do not compromise the change of direction that's currently there with speed. And what I was about to say, and I kind of talked out of my own point that I said Kia and guys like Smooth would know. EA does, they follow this practice of Band-Aid fixes. And, you know, if you talk to Clint and y'all ask Clint, yo, do Sim be talking to you about turning the dial? He'll say yes all the time. I'm always saying, stop turning the dial up and down. I don't want that. I just want the game to play organically. Like I don't like the fact that you can adjust how fast can this guy turn. Are we gonna let him turn on a dime, or is he gonna turn on a quarter? I hate that. And I get it, guys. It's a video game. I understand to some degree. But I hate the fact that you could say, okay, turn a little to the left and we're going to nerf the run. Turn a little further and we're going to boost the run. Turn it a little bit further and we're going to give you a boost on stiff arms. Oh, turn it down. I don't want any of that when it comes to change of direction and user control defense. Again, if you're telling me that you're going to kind of speed up the guys in terms of letting them really play to their speed, downhill speed, commit and go, fine. As long as you do not compromise change of direction and the change of direction rating. That's one of the main things that I loved in that beta. And I'll tell you like this. When you get you a pick or a PBU, it was rewarding. Because I literally played it against another user. I was like, oh, I made the right decision. I made the decision, got there, boom. But, you know, if I bite underneath, I shouldn't be able to get back to the post. Just my thoughts. But I'll throw it back, throw it to Smitty, man. And see, Smitty is off for a second. So let me read a comment here. OG Film Room said.
Oh, no, I'm back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's read this comment really quick. He says,
yeah, go ahead.
Do comp players in these sports games not expect their CPU defenders to adapt? It would seem that way. Because, again, the argument is always, I mean, and this goes back years, where people would say, you can make those adjustments. You know, where my control at? Can y'all hear that? That's what you used to hear. First time I went to the studio and Gibbs and Falk. I'm like, what? Y'all hear that? I'm like, what is that? Right?
Hey, remember when they had that what was it, smart glass or whatever it was, and my man was like, it was like Gibbs and Falk were both trying to say that they was calling different plays. Man, they was calling the same 1-2 plays, but they was all over the stick.
All of the and I get it. Listen, don't get me wrong. If you are a professional Madden player or gamer, period, and you've mastered the art of gaming, that's not what I'm arguing about. Cool. If, you know, like a lot of these comp guys do call the same play and then they, man, this guy, man, that guy, cross, man, this guy, put this guy in a deep zone and change the flat guy to man and change, you know, the nickel to play a mid-read, all this kind of, fine. But what we're saying is, if I just want to use football acumen, somebody comes out and I'm like, all right, against this set, I'm going to go cover 3. Or let's say I'm going to go cover 3 match, maybe quarters coverage. And like NY Kid would tell y'all that still it actually works a little better now in certain situations, when you get the solo checks and things like that against trips with palms but okay, let's make it simple. Let's make it very simple. Cover 3 against 11 personnel. All we're saying is we want the guys to do their job. That's it. And when we say adaptive AI, like what used to happen in backbreaking, some people will believe this or they won't. Neff is in here. Neff can co-sign this. Backbreaker used to adjust. Keep throwing that slant, a slant, or keep throwing a deep route, and burn the computer once or twice. You know what they do on the next play? Backing up, because he knows, yo, I got toasted on that last one. And listen, it ain't got to be that serious. And I'm going to keep talking a bit, because I see Smitty had to take a call. So I'm going to just keep rambling until he's done. It doesn't have to be to the degree of, oh, I want all these guys to do this for me. No. But what I'm saying is, in a simulation world, that's how it works. We watch football. Don't we watch our favorite teams, and sometimes they cheat on certain routes or cheat on this or play the line because they're expecting something. And guess what, guys? The flip side to that, that's why things like play action work in real football. It's very simple. Run, 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 pass. Run, 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 pass. Run to set up the pass. These are football 101 principles that we see work for or against our team every Sunday. Why don't you ask me, the Steelers fan that had to watch Jacksonville come into Pittsburgh with Blake Bortles and no real threat at receiver in a divisional playoff game after a bye, and because they got Leonard Fournette, guess what they were able to do to us the entire game? Run, run, play action. Why did it work? Because, yes, football 101, Steelers playing the run heavy, playing tight, coming out in, bigger sets. And this is all I'm saying, folks. Adaptive AI is things like that. Oh, whoa, they done gassed us for like 15 yards on 3 consecutive runs. Let's back up a little bit. That's all we're saying. And again, last point, and then I'll throw it back to Smitty. The argument is always, because Rex used to even say this, and shout outs to Rex, but Rex had a legitimate point when he said, all right, Sam, I feel you on that, and I fully agree with you. Football, I'm all about it. But what happens that one time that you want your guy to play deep, and because of another route that he's remembering, he was getting beat on early in the game, he plays short, you give up a touchdown? How you going to feel about that? And I was like, ooh, you know what? If that's what I'm going to ask for, I got to accept that. But that's a legitimate point. So I understand what the comp crowd is saying in that regard. But again, I would rather a game where I'm setting my guys up in position to do what I want them to do, and I have a corner. Again, let's say this. You can link adaptive AI to ratings. What about tying it to awareness? Like I said again, being a homer, Troy Polamalu. What if I got Polamalu out there and he dives over the pile like he did against your boy from Tennessee? Like, because his awareness is, that's what I'm saying. If you put adaptive AI in the game, it could be so ace. That's all I'm gonna say. It could be so beautiful. Imagine your receiver doing it, right? By the way, in the beta, I did see them come back for the ball a little bit. That was one thing I forgot to mention in my video.
Did?
A couple times, but I will talk about it. I think it was tied to the sack thing, to throw out a sack. I think it was tied to that. But imagine, last point, imagine this part of adaptive AI as well. Because, oh, by the way, folks, the thing that the linemen do, this is what I've been saying. I've been telling Clint, and I'm saying I'm not taking credit for that feature, but what I've been saying to Clint and the guys, even when Rex was there, I want adaptive AI on the entire game. Offensive players, defensive players. Meaning, a lineman continues to get beat. With a speed rush, he might cheat a little bit. And then Von Miller is dope enough. Oh, okay, I got you. I set you up now. Boom, boom, I'm coming back inside. My receiver, he noticed that they keep running a certain zone. Cut that thing a little short.
Yeah.
Sit in the hole. You coming across the middle on a drag, and you got somebody in the middle, and there's another corner on the other side because we running trips, right? And he just waiting. They ain't cover two. He just waiting and reading. He don't have nobody on his side. He looking for action, which they don't do in Madden.
Right.
So what did my receiver do? Oh, I'm gonna sit around in this hole right here. I ain't going all the way across. I'm gonna sit right here because the other corner, we done took him out of the play. Because number one's going vertical. Even if in cover two, the corner is gonna drop back at least to his depth before he passes it off. Nothing is in the flat, so maybe he drops back a little further like they do in the NFL. They don't just sit there and they don't do that. Unless you're Artie Burns, but I'm sorry. Sorry, Artie. But, right? So my receiver's like, nah, I'm sitting right here in this hole. And that's what I'm talking about, folks. And I don't want to hear it from a comp player saying, you wouldn't like that when 100,000 on the line? Instead of your man just continuing to run blindly, he sits in the hole on the goal line. Boom, bing, bing, touchdown, you win. Come on, get out of here with that, man. Y'all had me on a rant, man. Smitty's phone call made me go on a rant, man. Go ahead, Smitty. The floor is yours. Like I said, man, I did my own independent video. I know me and you are probably going to see most of, if not everything, the same. I'll chime in here and there, but I want you to get yours off, man. Let people know how you felt about this beta.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
You know, the thing is, and I'll have to come back because like my wife's gonna be coming home shortly, so I'm gonna have to step away and help her.
Okay.
Then come back. But excuse me. But I mean, what I'll say is that, you know, the beta is the best thing that the beta is giving me is potential expectation for next gen. I'm like how Sim was with his video, because I did check it out and it was just like, this is more like looking forward to next gen, because that everything that I gave feedback on, it's like I'm expecting next gen hopefully will take it up a notch. Because I like the QB being able to throw under pressure, under duress, with the defenders on them. That's beautiful. But the pass placement sucks. It still is terrible. They keep throwing passes literally to where the receiver is going to be instead of being able to lead him in space. I can't emphasize that enough. I need to be able to throw receivers open. I need to throw the ball to a spot where my receiver can get to it. Get rid of the two-man wide-out DB interactions. That stuff it's annoying. You know what I'm saying? It has been annoying for a absolute long time. We didn't like it when it was brought into Madden 16, even though it was like, okay, well, you know what? If they can make it make sense, then this is a nice starting point, but eventually it's got to be something that they work where they can work it out, because I'm not going to be a fan of this. It's still there. My speed is not fully respected. My distancing is not fully respected. I literally get slowed down. I had a play where I got hit with Mahomes. Like, I got hit as I threw. So the distance wasn't as far on the pass. But when I took control of Sammy Watkins, I wanted to turn around and try and just go up and face catch, just jump up and catch it. Instead, before I could even turn all the way around, I got pulled into a two-man animation where they, fortunately, I won to see, fortunately, the game deemed it, you know, in my favor for me to make the reception. And see, that's the problem in itself. They let me get the catch. It was a slowed down two-man catch animation, but it's like, no, that shouldn't be getting the outcomes. I want it to be, if the DB is going to dive and lay out or whatever they're going to do, if they're trying to hit me, if they're trying to swat the ball down, if they're trying to go for the pick, whatever, let them do it in their own animation and let me go up with mine. Showcase the difference between the two players. You know what I'm saying? Hey, when Steve Smith was playing, you know what I mean? Short receiver, but man, he would go up there and get it at times, wouldn't he? I don't want to see a two-man animation depicting the difference. I want to see him go up. Oh man, I want to see him go up, his ratings, his height, and everything going up against whatever the DB is. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, yo, the game kept rewarding. I mean, the game rewarded the defense so many freaking pass breakups. I'm like, I understand defenders can make plays, but if these defenders are that dang on good at making plays, I swear to goodness, why are they DBs? Why aren't they wideouts? These dudes are making so many dang on plays. Like, gosh, dude, it's no, like these DBs are not that dang on good at making plays like that. And there was a bit too much of an overabundance there. Defenders covering grass, we've been over that 10 trillion times. We need to see these guys looking for work, being anticipatory. What's going on? Not running. Oh, wait a minute, my zone is back here. Let me drop 15, 20 yards all the way back here, even though the action is way up there. No. I'm gonna creep back maybe 10 yards, but I'm gonna be creeping slowly. I'm gonna creep toward where the action is. I'm gonna see what the QB does. Boom. Now I'm gonna bite on it. Now, I'm either gonna bite on a fake or whatever, or boom, I'm about to pounce down on top of where the ball possibly is gonna be. If I'm able to get there, I'm gonna swat it, go for the INT, hit the receiver, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to see that. It doesn't need to all be on the user, and that's it. That's the reason why all these players, we can't control all these guys. We need to see the CPU be competent. There's got to be CPU competence in the game. That has to happen. You had it on PS2 and Xbox. Don't tell me it can't be done here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had my man OG Film Room in here saying, like, same deal. Ace. Even in basketball, you can't make every play, and that's 5 people. So it's like you can't make every play all the time. Based upon what happens during the course of the play, sometimes you got to make the play yourself. Excuse me, you can make the play yourself, but sometimes you need to rely on the CPU to make plays based upon if you get pinned down on the screen and they swing the ball around and they go to shoot a 3 ball. Sometimes you would like to see that CPU player be in the position to just go right ahead. What if you switch to the wrong player by accident? You see what I'm saying? Your CPU player, especially if they're a good defender, I want to see them try to close out. And if they try to close out, I'm like, dang, they hit the shot. But you know what? I appreciate my guy not just standing like, not just standing there looking dumb, like, well, since he ain't right in front of me, I don't know what to do. Like, no, it's like, I see what's going on. I'm going to react to it. That's, we need to see that logical play. The pass rush is fine. Don't mess with it. Leave it alone. That pass rush is just fine the way it is.
That right stick, boy.
Yes, love it.
Why?
So, well, go ahead. Go ahead.
It, it pains me sometimes, man. When you have a great idea, why did they ever go away from that?
Yeah, I know.
Because by now, man, I could imagine it literally being lower body, upper body, like and you really control. And it's kind of like that, but it should be almost of a mini game down in there. Why do they do that? And also, because I was playing NCAA today, why did they take? Why did they go away from the kick being on the right stick? What? Why? I thought when they did that, they were gonna eventually copy APF, because APF, the way you kick in that is phenomenal. And then of course now we're back to the button press. It's little stuff like that. I just don't.
Yeah,
I know why they did it, because we were down there one time when they said, "Well, it seems it's harder." That's the point, man. Like even a comp guy would have mastered it. So he's a better player. See, it's like, to me, you can make football things for everybody. It never should have to be about comp versus sim. Because like I always say, the top tier guys, they're going to adapt and they're going to learn how to play the game. They're good at that. Some of these dudes probably could jump and play another game and be just as good because they are good at figuring out the controls, how a game works, and they attack. You can make football for us all. Period. We shouldn't even ever have to have that conversation. But I just wanted to say those two things, man. What by now could you imagine what the left and right stick would? But
Yeah,
pass rush is
especially
good. I was digging it.
yeah, and I mean, I'll say that when it comes to the when you talk about the pass rush, remember in Madden 15 where you could steer the block before you made a move? Like the control wasn't as sticky. Like how it's more sticky now when you engage with a block, it's more like okay, now you got to input a move. But before, you didn't have to you didn't have to essentially make a move yet. Like you could steer the block. Like if you want to try and push them back, or if you want to try to move left or move right, then perform a move. You know what I'm saying? So, excuse me. So that was something that they could have done, like if they built off of it. And that's what I'm saying. You're talking about going from NCAA 14 and all that, which I believe it was best at there. But if okay. Okay. That's what's up. All right. So if they went from what they did in NCAA and brought that into Madden 15 with being able to steer the blocker, like it's like you're trying to steer them in a certain position and then attack. That would have been tight to see that evolve and keep that same control, just like we talk about MLB The Show all the time. They have their old controls, but they don't take them out. They got the same PS2 controls in there and the newer stuff that they went, as time has transcended. It would have been nice to see the same thing done with Madden, you know what I'm saying, as well. Instead of just completely redesigning and redoing everything. Like that would have been better. But I mean, all in all, look, it feels like Madden 20 and a half. That's what if I'm gonna give it that. I will say this, like what Sim said in his video, and like what he was saying before, change of direction. Don't touch it. Player movement. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. Make users have to adapt. Everybody has to adapt. Comp players have to adapt. All of y'all, everyone has to adapt. Okay. And because these ratings are going to become null and void if y'all screaming, oh, but I want to be able to move faster and oh, I want to be able to do no. I got this real world play. Let me show you when. No, stop it. Stop trying to showcase an instance where the routes are crossing each other and oh, he took them both away. No. He took both of them away and he tackled that guy. He helped. He all he did was basically he just what's the best term I should say for it? He did a show. He did a show and go. He's shown that he's there because he had help over the top. Then he goes and picks up the crossing route, runs alongside with him, and then just so happens to hit to tackle the receiver underneath because he's in the vicinity. Oh my gosh, he made those plays. It doesn't happen like that often. And on top of that, he didn't take all that away. So let's stop that. You have to make a decision when you're playing in the secondary. That's why having things like adaptive AI will become very important. And if EA sticks to their guns, because everybody's not going to be able to just click on and automatically just, oh, I'm a ping pong all over the field. No, it's like you're going to have to be mindful of what you do with that player because either you're going to be able to potentially make that play or you're gonna have to just take you're gonna have to take that L because you bid on something that you shouldn't have. And you can't say, oh, EA messed up the game and all that. No, EA didn't mess up the game. You needed to you gotta adapt to what happened, and you just gotta take the L and say, dang, you know what? I took a gamble on something that I thought was gonna work and it didn't pan out in my favor. That's what happens in football. It happens every single week in football. So that's just the way it has to be, man. Um, but yeah. So like that's really, I mean, that's really the gist of what I got. And I mean, like I said, the I, they said that this next gen game is supposed to be the next level. Oh, one last part I want to touch on: the tackling and the stretching out of the ball. I like the reaching for extra yards, but I don't like it because they force the animation. It's two-man canned
That's the
animations.
problem.
So you're tackling a guy. If I'm trying to hit you from the side instead of grabbing you on the back, they're gonna make me do an animation where you're gonna be able to reach out because it's part of a two-man, not because I did something different from the offensive guy. It's a two-man animation's got a trigger. I don't like that at all. This is why I said 10 trillion times about Batbreaker and everything, because they got it right. And when you look at what's the other it's oh yeah, the tackling by committee. It's good, but at the same time, it's like you see a lot of the same animations that were there already, but now it's like they try to compact you down in one spot, try to shorten up your progress with those animations, like by allowing additional tacklers and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So but that's the key thing that I'll say, like as far as those two things. Next gen, honestly, it can't just be an optimization of, hey, we got better graphics, that's it. We need to see this gameplay be separate. Like, hey, you know that stuff that you saw in that bring next, was it welcome next level or whatever they call it, whatever the tagline is? Yeah, we got more than that. This is what we truly got for you guys. Make the game open and organic playing. Now we're cooking. So, but I'll throw it to you, Sim. I gotta help my wife out real quick. I'll be back.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to answer your mama and guys. We addressed that early in the show, but he's here in the chat for you guys who were wondering who it was or what have you. He said for sim players. Let me go back and find the question. He said, hold on one second. He basically, here we go. He says, "What Madden does sim players love? What year?" So I want you guys to share your thoughts there in the comments, but I'm going to give my reply to that as well. See, to me, that's somewhat of a loaded question. The only reason why is because, at least speaking on my own behalf, it used to be a time when I played Madden and I would see it progress year after year after year. I mean, I'm going all the way back to like Madden 2000, even before that. And we started seeing the game get better and better and better. So it never got to the point of the stuff that we're talking about right now that I want. Even 2K. 2K football never got to where I would expect the game to be now with the physical interaction and true to life DB and wideout interactions, things of that nature, right? So when I say what might have been my best or favorite Madden, it's got to be in the Madden 05s through like the Madden 08s on, before 360 or, before they stopped making it prior to 360, because simulation is not just gameplay. It's depth. It's the, franchise mode. That's what simulation guys normally like. We would also, we would also play Mutt if we felt like Mutt was really different. If we really felt like all of these players had different, uniqueness to them and the way they move and the way they do things, et cetera, we wouldn't have a problem playing that. Rather than it just being a card that got boosted ratings but so it's hard for me to say what was the best Madden and say it from a gameplay standpoint, because the things that I want in this day and age didn't exist then. And let me just address some of those things. I want to be able to pass the ball where I want the ball to go. It can still be tied to ratings. I think 2K football did a great job with that. All Pro Football 2K8. Maximum passing where you can throw real, fades. You know what I'm saying? Your ball trajectory, ball placement. Madden once had that in older versions of Madden, right? I want realistic zone play in terms of all of the principles being there. Now, here's a funny one. I know that a lot of that stuff is in the game because A-Dub put it in the game. There is certain things that is still not quite there, but all of the principles and things are there. It just doesn't play out correctly. That's a different conversation, which I can't go into now. It's some conversations I've had with developers and engineers. Most of the rules are there. Some are missing, but most of them are there. It just doesn't play out accordingly because of Madden's old coding. Physics. Now that we have physics in video games, I want physics to determine the outcome. Very simple. People want to know what I'm referring to? Look at games like Backbreaker. Whether you think Backbreaker was a good game or not, listen, I don't care about that. Because a lot of people, well, that game was trash. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest representation of a full-blown football product. But what it did show us was like, whoa, do you see those not graphics, but do you see those physics? I had never seen nothing like that in a sports title. So once I see something that's possible, I'm saying, oh, I need that. I need that. And after that, you start hearing me say, yo, Madden, you got to get these real-time physics. And all of these other games alike started doing it over the years. Your NHLs of the world and, your FIFAs of the world, the 2Ks. I mean, everybody started, real-time physics is the wave. But physics needs to drive the animation. Case in point, for any developers who might be in here listening, I'm talking about, any developer or engineer. It ain't got to be 2K, ain't got to be Madden, just a general conversation. What I'm referring to, canned animations are always going to be a thing, folks, because a canned animation is basically an animation that is mocapped and thrown into a library. That's quote-unquote a canned animation. When we see canned animations on the field, what most people refer to as a canned animation is the ones that trigger cannot be broken. It's non-interruptible, right? So what I expect a sports game to do now, have your animation library. I mean, 2K has millions, it seems like, but allow physics to augment animation. Augment. This bottle of water, I can swing it like this all day until a hand is there. Then things happen because physics, right? That's what I want from a sports game. No Madden in the past, no 2K football game in the past has had physics to that magnitude. So again, if you're asking me in 2020, what was my favorite Madden, I still can't say because when I got to a certain point and I became the analyst, at one time I was just playing these games. But ever since 2009, when I started being the SimFBallCritic, the moniker, then I started analyzing ooh, that's not real. I like to see this happen. I would like to see that happen. So then my mind went a totally different place. What was probably the better Madden on this current generation? Maybe Madden 25. But again, I acknowledge there were problems. The same problems that we're talking about today. When you talk about coverage and you talk about AI. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's kind of a roundabout response, but like I said, I can't really answer that because the game, there's more things that I have yet to see in the game that I would want to be satisfied with the football game. Now, when we get all of that, then I can say, now, this is the game right here. So some people say, well, what do you want, Sim? Let's make it very simple. This is the very simple way of understanding what I would want as a simulation guy. I want a in-depth franchise mode. I want to replicate the NFL. I want to take a team and see if I can build a team, build a powerhouse, just like they, build a team, just like the concept of Mutt. Build this great team and have to deal with the challenges of re-signing guys and franchise tagging guys and restructuring their contracts and guys wanting to leave. And I got to go to training camp and go to the combine if I want to get an edge in the draft. And when I scout, I want to be able to do certain things and send my scouts here and send my, my OCs and my DCs can come, create game plans and all of this kind of stuff. Right? And then if I really want to get crazy with it, I could have a my GM type of mode in Madden where I could be the GM if I want to do that. All of these type of things, mini camps, and I want to replicate the NFL the way Madden once did. Again, Madden 05, Tony Bruno show. Can I get a recap? Can I get a halftime show? i.e. 2K5. That's part of it. And then on the football field, what I want, player fluidity. I want player movement to be as natural as it possibly can. That's number one. I want change of direction, foot planting, and all of that physics being taken into account when you run and change direction. That's two. I want physical interaction to be based on physics. When 2 bodies or 3 bodies, 4 bodies, 6 bodies, 7 bodies meet, I want physical mass, weight, momentum, size, leverage, etc. to matter. As a quarterback, I would like to be able to get real trajectories, real ball placement. Now, I'm not talking about perfect passes. There's still got to be a ratings gap somewhere. But let me throw to a spot. Can I literally throw a receiver open before he comes out of his break? Things like that. On defense, I just want the AI to act accordingly. Ratings will determine how good or how not good a player is in terms of breaking up a pass, making the right decision, getting to the, getting in front of the ball, making a pick, things like that. Ratings will still dictate that. Awareness and play rec, all of that stuff sounds cute, but I don't think it doesn't play out the way it should. And by the way, even the best corners and best safeties get beat. So it's not all about players making the right play. I just want to see them diagnose. I like to see them make a mistake. I would like to see them read the wrong guy, because that happens in the real world. And I've never been a guy that's been upset about mistakes in a game. If I can go and replay and say, I see what he did there. He looking at this guy. See what I'm saying? And the thing is, in Madden, a lot of times, most of us would say, coverage is broken because it's not doing. See, the game is not at a point where we would accept actual mistakes. To us, we automatically say it's a bug because that's the nature of what Madden has been. Think about that for a minute, guys. Madden is so stagnant in terms of how coverage works and how they just cover grass. We can easily identify a bug rather than saying, maybe his awareness isn't that good. Y'all realize that? It's very rare that we say, maybe he's just not that good. Most of the time, we're recognizing a bug because it's not enough moving parts, organic parts. And you see it. You've seen it in old Madden. You see it. I got a clip in NCAA I'm probably going to post here soon. The guy is playing his man. He takes his eye off the ball for a moment. My receiver goes inside and he tries to catch back up to him. I complete the catch. That's football. I would never call something like that broken because I was able to literally go into the replay and see the defender take his eyes off of the play. He's looking downfield. Receiver runs a post and he's like, wait, where is he? He's over here. I'm cool with that. And again, it's a video game. You can't make these people act like these virtual people act like real people, but ratings can do that. Awareness and things like that can determine how often or how likely they are to make a mistake. See what I'm saying? Reaction time, et cetera, et cetera. But those are just the things. Weather. I want the weather to affect the game. And even though the weather didn't affect the game, but so much, even in 2K, in 2K8, when it's raining, the raindrops are dropping off of the helmets. Do y'all realize that? It's just little aesthetic things, man, that make you think, wow, this game is about the details. And y'all see the stuff in 2K right now. You know, NBA 2K, I don't know how much the people coming off the bench affects my guy, but it's immersive. Every time it happens, I'm like, oh, they trying to rattle my guy. And when I'm the one controlling the shooting, so how they gonna rattle him when I'm the one shooting? But it's still, you see what I'm saying, man? I could go on for days about what we deem as simulation. But like I said, the things that I outlined as far as on the field, that's what simulation guys are looking for, which is the same things that I think, I could be wrong. It's the same things that I think a comp player would want as well. Wouldn't you want the game to respect football? Play it however you want to play it. But, and there are some guys that don't care about that, and I respect that too. But at the end of the day, man, when you're making a sports title, unless you're gonna, coin it as a arcade game, you gotta respect the fundamentals of the sport, fam. There's no other way. There's no other way. And I know for a fact, knowing a couple of people, okay, you saying that I play Madden 10. I played Madden 10. What's the question? I played Madden 10. Madden 10 was a good game for what it had. Where's that now? See, that's my whole point, right? I did like Madden 10. Wasn't perfect, but let me explain to you why it wasn't perfect. See, and this is another thing we have to just clear the air here. Everybody's opinion is different. At the end of the day, something that some of you guys in the chat liked that maybe I liked as well, or vice versa, that I didn't like, and that's always going to be the case. So to me, there's never a right answer. There's never a right answer. There's things that I acknowledge that are actually decent in Madden 20, but other people will say the game is complete trash. Like, yeah, in certain areas it is, but there's some things they could build on. I'm always that guy. The beta, I saw good, I saw bad. Some people would tell you, oh, the beta was complete trash, and they'll name one or two reasons. And I'm like, nah, it wasn't. Madden 21 is looking like it will have improvements, but it still ain't. Listen, it's still Madden as we know it on the current generation. Did they improve some things? Yes, it appears that way. We have to see how the game actually turns out. However, here's the biggest problem. Some of the things I'm naming here still not. They're still not. They still cover grass. They still don't really cover their man. As far as when they're in their zone area, they just stand there and let them cross their face. That happens from time to time. And it seems like it depends on the type of route. Like if you happen to get a guy and throw within that 10 to 15 yard range, seems like he's playing it pretty well. But anything beyond his drop, good luck. Did the 2-man animations get toned down? Yeah, a little bit. Looks like they actually toned it down a bit. I didn't really see too many warps. I don't really recall a lot of warp situations happen. Even like, trailers and guys like that. Can't say that it won't. I got to play this game a little more. But it looked like it was an effort to tone it down. But like Smitty said, you're still going to have them 2-man animals, which takes control away, especially at the catch point. I don't think that stuff is going to be addressed on current gen. I'm just here to tell y'all that. I don't think it's happening. I'm not saying it's going to happen on next level. But that's where I would focus my energy and be like, look, reading that blog about next level, y'all better deliver. I'm talking this year. We tired of hearing that. Right? So that's all I'm saying. And everybody's going to have a different opinion, fam. So that's just, and I'm about to bring on Red Zone podcast. I'm about to send you an email request. I might as well answer this again, man, since your mama is here. I said this at the beginning of the show, but I might as well say it here since you're here. What I said was I did agree initially that I would talk, come on your show, didn't have any problem. This was before I really knew anything about you, history, etc., etc. Like I always do with anybody. Did a little research of my own, kind of looked at, some of the things that have gone on, talked to some people, talked to some other people, but I never used that as my judgment, my rule to say, oh, well, if you don't, I don't. I give everybody a chance. But I decided, after kind of, going through the timeline and just doing my own research, I don't want to, I don't think I want to affiliate myself, with some of the ways how you've conducted yourself. That ain't no shot at you. I don't know you. Okay, I'm a personality on YouTube or whatever. So are you. We don't know each other personally. You could be a great person. So I will never say anything negative about you. I hope you would reciprocate that. But that's why I decided that I'm not going to do that. I don't think I need to have you on this show either because, again, I just didn't agree with some of your approach. How you've approached certain people and how you go about it. That ain't something I really want to affiliate myself with. So that's just where I'm at with it. However you take it is how you take it. It's not a negative thing. I mean, I think I have a right to say, nah, I'll let you do your thing. I'll do my thing. But I just don't want to affiliate myself with that. Because again, like I said, I just don't agree with, some of the personal attacks and things that you have said and done to people. And even with Smitty, and Smitty is my guy. So I'm not gonna do you the satire and all that towards him. Then I'm not gonna sit up there like I'm not doing that. Again, like I said, that was before I knew these things. So I was open and willing to talk, and I will talk to any comp player, anybody else. It's just I've chosen to not, have that connection, affiliation, talk or whatever with you only because I just don't. Again, let me say it very straight here. I don't know you from a can of paint, but all I can do is judge you by your actions. So your actions would show what would be different. What's going to be different with me if you don't agree with what I'm saying? And then you see what I'm saying? So I'd rather just not do that. That's it. So there you have it. But 205
But
wanted to
I'm
come on,
back.
Smitty. So I'm gonna shoot him
Okay.
a quick invite. And guys, we only got a little bit of time left. So Smitty, go ahead and
Oh,
rock out, man.
what basically, I mean, I know you was about to say something about what your mama had to say.
No, I was
Um
just he was
I didn't
asking to come on and stuff. So I just basically repeated what I said earlier. So, he
Oh,
wouldn't have to
okay.
go back and watch it. Again, just being a man at the end of the day and just being open and honest, not running from the situation instead of DMing and all that. I figure let's just do it in public. Everybody can see what it is, and it's right here and written in stone. It's nobody has to say, oh well, he said this, he said that, and misconstrue. Nah,
Oh,
we'll let the chat decide. So that's how I
yeah.
feel. Let it be public, so can't
I
nobody
mean,
do no finagling or whatever.
like I said, I already, I mean, just I know you're getting 205 on, but I mean, I've already had my, I've already seen Yo Mama in action. You know what I'm saying? I've already seen him in action. Like I said earlier, he's done his satire bits on me. He's took snippets of what I've done, like streams and stuff like that, and used them in his personal dialogues or videos or whatever that he posts up. And it's like, that's fine. I mean, I put, the stream is out there publicly, like my periscopes are out there publicly, but it's, when you choose to be all about satire and everything else, and you want to make fun of folk, and then you want to say, hey, let's get on the show and break bread. No, there's no, there's no breaking of the bread there. And I mean, like I said, just to sum it up real quick, I mean, I see you in the chat there. Control your own crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like what I can't think of who is it that makes a song, but there was a song that goes by sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. It's the same deal. Take care of the comp community though. Don't come over to the sim side and start sweeping in front of our door when you need to take care of your own. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same principle. I mean, like I said earlier, and you're here, your fellow colleague, whether you're friends or not, cool or not, but your colleague, young Kiv, said that throwing out a sack hurts you way more than it helps you and shouldn't be in the game. I mean, really? Like, that's part of football. Players get impacted by that. Of course, it should hurt you more than it should help you. Like, really? But that's what he says. You see what I'm saying? So it's like if you wanna pounce on something so badly, you need to be getting at guys like Kid. You need to be having bringing guys like that on and really make sense. Tell him to make sense out of this. Make football sense out of that. It happens. I mean, make sense out of it. Why shouldn't that be part of a game where EA said they're the only company that can make simulation football titles, and they're not supposed to simulate what happens when it comes to throwing out of a set? Everybody can't do it great. Why should it just be all of a sudden took out because, oh, it's a hindrance? Well, of course it's a hindrance. That's what pass rushes are for. They're there to hinder the QB's ability to throw the ball. That's what pressure is for. That's what getting hit as you throw is about. Things like that. But you got your colleague over here saying take it out the game. So it's like, yeah, talk to your teammate. Talk to you, not your teammate, but talk to your colleague. That's your community colleague, whether you cool or not. See, we got symmetry over here with us. You guys are the ones that are in disarray over there. Y'all want football took out the game for arcade hijinks, basically. I mean, address that. You wouldn't dare see Simmer I. Don't do that. You wouldn't dare see Simmer I get on this stage and sit up here and say, you know what? They need to nerf the pass rush. It's too fast. What? No, the average time in the pocket is less than 3 seconds. Why in the world would I want them to nerf it? Oh man, throwing out of the sack, man, that's a problem. What? Why in the world would I say that's a problem? That happens in football all the time. Why would I dare say that's a problem? And it needs to be took out the game. That doesn't make any sense. But guys in your community will co-sign with Kiv and say, yeah, they should take that out. See? So even the player movement, Madden was it Madden 19? They had good player movement at first. Man, I can't cover 2, 3, 4 routes. They regressed it. Once again, your crowd does that kind of talk.
And see,
not ours. So it's your crowd that primarily does that. So that's what I'm saying. You have battles to take care of. You have battles to take care of on your own front before you can even try to come over here and say, all right, now we got to have a talk. You need to talk to your people first. So take care of your crowd first and foremost before you can come over here. And I mean, Kiv, hey, that's a guy that's hoisting championship belts and stuff. So you got somebody you need to holler at. Holler at him. See what's up. What football game is he watching? where we're throwing out a sack. Everybody's accurate throwing out of a sack, right? That's how it should be. I input the command, he should just do it, regardless of what you do pressure-wise, right? Come on, man. It's cool to want absolution, but this is not NFL blitz. And that's the problem. You guys approach this game with an NFL blitz mentality. I should be able to throw under duress, perfect strikes. No, it don't work like that. So, but go ahead, Sim, man.
Now, the only thing else I wanted to address really quick, in 205, I sent the invite, so I'm not sure if you got it or not. This is what I don't get by some people in the Madden community. Shout outs to Radical Sim. I see, you kind of saying, big up in your mama, which is cool. Like I said, what I said has nothing to do with how I feel about him. I don't know him, and I know he's in here, so I don't want to talk like in third person, like or what have you. I don't know you, your mama like that. I don't, radical. Just explaining it to you. It's not. This ain't an attack on him or anything like that. It ain't about nobody being thin skinned. The thing I don't get about the community, right? People like who they like. It's okay. There could be more voices in a community that are all taking aim however they take aim. Everybody don't have to do it the same. Like, I noticed you said, your mama basically called out the racism in Madden and all. Great. But the funny thing is like people would think, oh, the other guys ain't say nothing. Y'all would really literally think that nobody else paid attention or nobody, like some of this stuff I don't even be knowing until after the fact. My man SGO Sports Gamers Online did a video on it, and I was like, oh word, I didn't pay attention to the fact at that time that the whole Kaepernick thing and they took the words. I won't paying attention to that. So just because people don't say certain things or speak, that don't mean anything at the end of the day. It don't mean, oh, Sim ain't up on it or Sim is a y'all is crazy what some people expect out of their YouTuber or commentator of choice. At the end of the day, a lot of this stuff, I don't care that much about it. I don't care about, let's be frank again, while everybody's here. I don't care that much about Madden, man. I do what I can do when I do it. When I cut this off, I don't care. And, and again, there's other commentators out there and people always say, oh, well, then go watch them. If that's your preference. Prime example. I like people who ain't afraid to say what they say. That's one thing I can say even while he's in here. I respect that about your mama. I'll be honest in saying there were some people I asked about and they had some negative things to say, but I didn't. I was like, well, I don't know him, so I don't do that, right? I'm not just a follow along guy. I don't. As y'all hear my dog going crazy because my wife and my son just came in the house, so y'all probably gonna hear him going off. I don't follow, I don't just follow the leader. I lead. So somebody could tell me they don't like somebody, I'll still be like, well, let me see for myself. It's people you respect their opinion. And I ain't talking about you. I'm just talking in general. But I still would be like, let me see for myself. Then I do my own, research or get to know people. I'm like, yeah, I don't really rock with her. I don't rock with dude. So my point is with all of that, I respect what your mama does by him just being brash, and that's what's up. Obviously, that's him. I have no problem with that. All I said was, I don't really want to go that route. Like, I don't really agree with some of the things he says and does. So I'm like, all right, I'll let him do his thing. I'll decide not to. But why do I have to is the question. With some people, and I'm not saying your mama is saying this, but even other people is like, oh, well, you should. But why? People are different. Just like some people don't like the Joe Budden podcast. I like Joe Budden podcast because of how they give it up. I love it. Others don't. That's fine. You can go listen to so-and-so or listen to so-and-so. You see what I'm saying? So that's the point I kind of wanted to make too, man. It's like some people in the community keep doing that. You keep trying to get everybody to, oh, you guys should. No, we don't have to. Everybody don't have to be kumbaya. All I would recommend for everybody to do is just do what y'all do. Don't worry about other people. Y'all really don't never hear me say, so-and-so, I I'm not worried about that. But a lot of people you'll hear a lot of people saying stuff about me. Oh, he's not, and why is that your concern? It ain't nobody in this community that could say that I'm not trying to make a better game. Some try to, but I know what's real, so I don't really have to even worry about that. Ain't nobody can say that. How I do it is how I do it. How you do it is how you do it. And they're all needed. So, that point should be clear. So I,
Oh,
I just get tired of people always trying to get you to dog.
no, I
It's
just want to tack something on with that. I mean, Nightmare Hawk, like I said earlier, I don't know if you've been on the show earlier or not, but Nightmare Hawk, and you my man and everything. You my man 100 grand, so you cool in the game. But who in the 2K community had to come together in order for my league and my GM to happen? Name who had to sit down to figure that out. What comp guy and what sim guy had to come together for that? Nobody. What about the gameplay in PES, NHL, MLB The Show? All the depth and the features that got in there. Who in the communities, who had to come together and say, let's come together, let's squash this, let's figure it out? Nobody. So at the end of the day, why is it that all these games that are far, far ahead of Madden, they ain't doing any of this, but with Madden that has to happen? It doesn't. Authentic gameplay, hold on, wait. And Sim can attest to this. We had discussions with people in studio where authentic gameplay elements were nerfed because tourney guys felt a certain way about it after they had an in-house tournament. And we all got stuck with it. Once again, your battle, yo mama, starts on your own porch. Get that broom and get the sweeping. Because you got a whole crowd of people that are saying that football legitimacy is a problem and it needs to be as robotic as possible. That's your crowd, man, not us. So we can't have a meeting of the minds when you got a lot of you got a lot of scattering going on in your own crowd. It's not me. I'm sorry. It's not me. It's not Sim. It's not Azure. It's not any of us. That's your own crowd, man. So that's it at the end of the day, man. And understand, it's your guys, it's your crowd that's hoisting championship belts. Your man Kiv hoisting championship belts, saying that throwing out a sack shouldn't even be in the game. It's a problem. It's a hindrance. You want to get mad at me? I mean, hey, I could DM you the tweet, so that way you can take that and you can talk to him about it. Get his attention and talk to him about that. It's not disrespect. This is reality. Your crowd is saying this stuff. You're not gonna see us. Like I said, you're not gonna see me and Sim say, man, player movement needs to be more like blitz. Man, what's up with all this? Man, I ain't trying to actually account for footwork and everything. I should be able to just spin around on a dime. No. I should be able to cover you just as efficiently with this 300 plus pound D tackle, just as good as a corner. No. Nope. So, but go ahead, Sim, man. I just want to throw that little.
that's all I got, man. I mean, like I said, I saw Radical say, your mama shouldn't be feared. I agree. I don't. Who fears it? I mean, I don't. I don't know if that was just a general statement, but again, it's just like somebody said. One of y'all said he's like the Madden community's Howard Stern. That's what's up. And I hope people and most people that are listening to this got what I said. It's not me saying what he's doing is wrong or anything. I listen, like I said, I applaud you for being you. I'm always the guy that is campaigning for the person that ain't afraid to be themselves unapologetically. I love that. In anybody. Shoot. I even excuse me. It's so many things, man. It ain't even worth my time to really say some of this extra stuff. But it's like I have no problem with that. I just said, that ain't the way I want to. I don't really want to rock with that. It's just my approach. I'm not necessarily want to be tied to that. I don't. That's just I don't see anything wrong with that. Like if somebody respectfully tells you, nah, I see how you do it. I don't really want to do it like that. Cool. I prefer not to. Same way some people would say that about me. I don't like how he handles this, and he says the good things and the bad things, and he doesn't chew out the. All right, you know what I'm saying? I just choose to handle things differently. I think both of them are equally effective. I guess. I can't say which way is more effective. I'm just saying I don't see what the problem is. If somebody could look and see what somebody else is doing and be like, nah, I don't really want to approach it like that. I'll let them have that. That's all it is. That's all it is. And if whoever's in here who is supportive of that, or even your mama, you yourself, if anybody takes it other than that and tries to twist it like, oh, they don't, then that's on you. That's your problem if you twist it to be more than me literally just saying, nah, after kind of seeing how you get down, nah, I don't really want to jump in that water. That ain't how I approach things. I'll do it my way. Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. So that's just where I'm at with it. This wasn't intended to be a back and forth negative. It's not a negative thing at all. It's just sometimes you have to address these things because there's certain people in the chat or whatever will seem to not get it. They try to make it more than what it is. That's all. And like a real man, I said I'm going to say it on the show. I'm instead of shooting the DM and all that, and I said it even earlier and said it twice now on the show. Yeah, I did say I would come on before I did my own research. That's on me. But after I did that, I'm like, I mean, come on, you know some of the things that you've said and done, personal attacks. I don't want to be affiliated with that whatsoever. That's just me. And I'm not saying that you have had do your thing, man. It could just be a persona. I don't know. That's why I don't judge people like that off of social media. But I have the right to say, nah, I ain't rocking like that. Because I wouldn't want you to, because some people would say, well, you can still just, have him on and he'll be night. I don't want you to not be you. If that makes sense. It don't make sense for you to conform. No, don't do that. Do what you do. Be you all the way. I just say, you can do it your way. I'll do it my way. That's it. But I ain't got nothing else, man. Outside of that, as far as the beta, just to wrap this up. Listen, personally, I think I said it in the video. There were positives. There's still negatives. Again, so some people will say the beta was complete trash. That is what it is. Everybody has their own opinion. I try to dissect video games like completely down to the very last compound and try to say, does it do this, that, and I judge those things. I think the positives again were player movement has improved in my opinion over Madden 20. Change of direction is a great, addition. It's probably a sneaky way of adding something back because I really feel like that player movement is borrowing from like a combination of like 19 and 25 or 19 and 20. It's, I feel like it was kind of like that before because a lot of us, even in the beta when we were discussing, we were saying, yo, RPM is back. Not that it's new. Because y'all remember it started with 25 and then it got looser and it got looser again. Then they tried to tighten it back up. Physics seems to be better. It's just not, it still ain't, a real gang tackle just ain't happening. It's not, when physics are not dictating the outcome and animations, there's still animations that can't be interrupted. I'm going to have the same feeling about physics. Two-mans are reduced. You don't see it as much in terms of the overly aggressive warping. It's kind of like what y'all have heard me say in videos before. They kind of shorten the distance. Where you see the two-man playing out, but it's a little more logical. The suck part, though, is that it strips your control. Strips your user control. Like Smitty said, it doesn't... It should just be 1-to-1 like it used to be. If they could find a way to make it how Madden's used to be without the synchronized catch animations, y'all remember those? We'd be straight.
Yep.
If you gotta address that, you did the 2-man animations to compensate for those synchronized situations, but now you got to go back to the drawing board and say, all right, how can we make this 1-to-1, make it look clean, and we're not getting synchronized animation? My guess would be is whatever y'all are doing around the players being more aware of themselves when they're getting off of the pile and off of the ground, maybe you got to figure that out, do that across the field or something. And again, they still cover grass. I don't see diagnosing of the play from the defenders. If it's beyond, if they're beyond their drop zone, or if they're beyond, if somebody is not in their area, they're still just, let me go into my flat and now let me look. They're not diagnosing anything. So it's still some of the same problems. It just seems like a cleaned up Madden 20.5. It's still going to feel like Madden 20 for the most part, but a better, I will say it played better. A lot better. The catching and running up field, like that kind of stuff was money. You could catch a drag and you out. It ain't, you ain't getting pulled, like you out. Catch and go. Very clean. Like the game feels smooth, but it's still got the problems that I just don't think we're going to see fixed on this generation, man. And again, let me say this, last thing. It's not that I don't think it could have been done or could be done on this console generation. Remember, 2K basketball is on this generation. I just don't think that the investment is going to be made by those making the decisions to do that on current gen. It ain't happening. It hasn't happened since what? When did PlayStation 4 come out? 13?
2013. Yep.
If it ain't happened since then, it ain't happening now when they go into another. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that they're going to change it for next level or next gen. I'm just saying the stuff that we've been asking for as far as the logic and coding, if they haven't changed it by now, it ain't happening on this console. Ain't going to happen. Y'all know the history. So that's all I got with it, man.
Yeah, I mean, don't be too surprised. I'm not expecting the game, I'm not expecting leaps and bounds to happen at this point. But at the same time, though, I mean, what are you gonna say? Go ahead.
I got a question for you, and you can end the show with this, man, and maybe you could tie in what you were saying, because
go ahead.
Radical, and I know we've seen other people say this as well. Do you think other games have DDA? Do you think this is a Madden-specific issue? And for those that might not know exactly what that is, what I understand it to be a dynamic difficulty adjustment. It's what I believe that's what people are referring to with DDA, from what I've been told. Do you think that is a Madden-specific thing, or do you think other games also do that to kind of dictate how the game goes?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I wonder. Because I guess the question is, it's been stated, I think there was even an article that came out that said that EA uses those practices. But I wonder, when you see that happen in other games, is that a form of it? Like, think about, and I could be wrong, and, hopefully those who are in here that know 2K very well will, shoot this idea down. But I feel like sometimes when I'm playing my league, that the computer will get that comeback, like something happens. And it ain't because, and it could be ace now. It could be ace and I didn't adjust. But it seemed like there's always that moment you up kind of big, and it's always that moment, here they come. And I be wondering, is that a form of DDA? Or, so that's the question I would have. And I don't know if anybody knows, but I wonder if that is a Madden-specific issue. So I wonder. I wonder.
Yeah, I'm curious on that one too. I don't
And
know.
he says, nah, other games are scripted, but Madden scripting is blatant. But see, now, this is kind of what I wanted to get to. Some of y'all might not like what I'm about to say, but it's real. Our frustration with Madden, and I'm speaking for everybody, I think our frustration with Madden as a product sometimes blind you from seeing the same practices that are done in other games. Because even to say that, to say, nah, he said, where is it? Other games are scripted, but Madden scripting is. But listen to the crux of what you said. Other games are also scripted. That's the point. Again, this ain't a defense for Madden or anything, but I'm saying is I think we're all guilty of it. We're all guilty of being frustrated with Madden, that we point out the problems, the blatant problems Madden has, and we don't. I can't say we, because Smitty and I do. There's problems in 2K too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But because Madden is the topic of discussion, I think it gets more holes poked in it, and it's not as nearly as good a product from top to bottom. We all acknowledge that. But I'm only saying that because, like I said a little earlier, I think when Smitty was away, Madden doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. Case in point, I would love a sim game where I can look at the replay, like I said, with NCAA, and my guy, I'm actually going to try to cut that video soon, maybe tonight or tomorrow. The guy's playing man against my receiver. He's in his back pedal. He's looking at the quarterback, looking back at my guy. Looks like my guy might be continuing to go deep. He turns his head for a split second. My guy runs a post. He whips his head back around, and you can clearly see him say, oh, tries to change direction. Nothing happens. He gets caught on, right? He can't get there. I could go on the replay and say, oh, I see why he got beat. Whether it's scripted or not, it still was believable, right?
Yeah.
With Madden, we don't give it that benefit of the doubt. Usually we say, oh, it's broken. And it's because of the reputation they have. And rightfully so. We should be coming with the pitchforks, but I think that's a real thing. It's because we're so used to Madden being broken, lack of depth, et cetera, we'll see the same problem that exists in other games. And people always call out the body clipping. Show me a game that ain't got that. Show me a sports title that don't have that. So that's all I'm saying. I hope the smart people listening here would know I'm not making a correlation. I'm saying I think a lot of times we do come down harder on Madden because we're frustrated with it, which we should. We should.
Mm-hmm. That's understandable. That's understandable. Yeah, like all the games have it, like that sense of where they all of a sudden come back and all that good stuff, and it's like, it happens. It happens. You can't all of a sudden execute and everything. You can't stop nothing. They can make everything and all that stuff. Like, yeah.
Well, y'all keep trying to pull it out, man. Steve Johnson said, "Who told you not to go on your mama show?" Yo, if my explanation tonight wasn't good enough, man, there's nobody that said, "Don't do it." I just did my own research. That's it. That's it. Did I ask a couple people, like, hey, you familiar with? Sure, I did. But just like I told y'all, come on, y'all seem to get it when I do guy girl, examples. I mean, a lot of y'all was told by somebody not to mess with that girl, didn't you? Hasn't that happened to you? But you was like, I want to see what's up. And come to find out, oh, I like her. I don't know why he didn't. My point is, I don't just listen to everybody. I'll get their opinion, but I don't just say, oh, you said don't do that? Don't watch that movie? Oh, I ain't watching it. I don't do that. I'm willing to give everybody a fair shake. So again, for the third time, asked around, are you familiar? Haven't heard. He's calling out people, da-da-da-da. People told me, yeah, I'm familiar. They gave me their opinion. I reached out to some people in EA. Are you familiar? Because I've heard, you want us to talk. They said what they had to say. I did my own research. I looked at history, videos, timeline, etc. Saw some things that I don't really agree with as far as personal attacks, name calling. Nah, I don't want to do that. And that's how I came to the decision. Simple. That's it. So, shoot, I ain't always do what my mom told me what to do. Y'all think I'm gonna just listen? Come on, man. Give your boy some credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But yeah, all right, man. That's it. Anything else before we roll out, man?
Yeah, no. If somebody disrespects you if somebody disrespects you, would you invite them over to your house? That's my point. That's the point. You know what I mean? You never would have saw during the course of us doing our show, you never would have saw us openly invite anyone from Simheads United on our show. You know what I'm saying? Like even with that, exactly, that would be pointless. Now, and you further found out how it was pointless when certain folk called in. When we had had the switchboard, people was calling in. So it's like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Like when you try, and I've spoken to a lot of detractors, and it's like, I don't mind hearing other people's thoughts, and I don't mind going back and forth with people, but when you've done it as long as Sim and I have been doing this, and plus with us having that opportunity of going in studios and learning stuff and everything, it's like, we learn, and that's it. You see, can't be attacking my guy Smitty. Hey, he can't be attacking me, Bully. He can't be attacking me.
No, that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. It can't be attacking you.
Oh, attacking my guy Smitty. Oh, okay.
I ain't gotta go no further than that. Yeah, I'm keeping it 100. When Smitty told me, I didn't know this. But when Smitty told me that, I said, oh, no, I ain't. Listen, for those of y'all that don't know, me and Smitty never knew each other when we first met on YouTube. Since then, we've met each other in person numerous times. We talk on the phone. We have developed a real friendship. Myself, Smitty, Azure, people like Neff in the chat, NY Kia, it's others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, that's a situation that's just like my own brother. If my brother be like, yo, I don't mess with homie, then I ain't messing with cuz then. That's the time when I don't need to hear nothing else. If my brother tell me, ain't nothing else. Look, he could be cool with me, but I can't rock with you. This applies here. It's just that simple. Like I said, dog, nobody has to take this personal, but wouldn't y'all ask yourself, would you do that? If your man's got I'm not even gonna say it's an issue, but if somebody coming at your man's, what you gonna do?
Right.
Because to me, I'm gonna call it what it is. That's sucker stuff. That's a sucker that do that. Let me see what he about. I know he had problems with. Not your homeboy.
Right.
I'm the same dude that my cousin used to have to tell me in school, because he a year younger than me, that there ain't no more beef. I'm still at the dude. Like, I heard you got beef with my man. My cousin telling me, we good, we squash it. No, but he ain't squash it with me. I was that guy. I still had a problem with this dude because he had a problem with my man. And this is not your mama, so don't take that out of context. I'm not saying that we got a problem. I'm just saying, once I did my own research, Smitty told me, oh yeah, I had a little run-in with, I ain't gonna do that then, just out of respect of Smitty. Come on, man. Y'all stop acting clownish in the chat, man. Like, y'all should know that. And I'm speaking to all of us. Don't act like as men that's not real. Oh, I can't do it. Out of respect to Smitty. Period. Simple, man. Like, come on, man. Y'all killing me. Y'all killing me, man.
Yeah. So that's it. But like I said, it's all good at the end. Listen, if this was like I said before, even when it came to beefing with other cats and everything or whatever, it's like, listen, if dissing people got us a better game, if clowning on folk got us a better game and everything like that, man, I'd be ethering dudes right now. You know what I'm saying? Or I'd be doing my best to do it because I'm like, yo, I want Madden to be on point. I'll be sitting up here in the lab, you know what I'm saying? Like doing what I can to ether cats. But it doesn't do anything. So I'm saying, think about it. He did all that satire and stuff on me, dissing me, and everything like that. Now he's sitting up here going back and forth about, oh, we need the dialogue. What we need the dialogue about? You chose that. You wanted to be a court jester. Then do it. Go do it. But I don't need. I'm not going to talk to you off of that. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I forgive you, but like I said, I see you have a big old landfill chilling in front of your house right now, and you worried about the trash that spilled at our house. You got all that. What's it they say? It's in the Bible. I don't know exactly the scripture, but it's like saying you pointing out the mote in my eye when you got the big old tree trunk chilling in your own eye. Take care of that. Take care of that tree. Take care of that tree trunk. You got your own situation going on. And if you don't believe me, look on Twitter. Listen to your colleagues. Listen to your fellow Madden champions and former champions and guys that complain. I mean, Sim and I, like we said before, when Rex told us about Madden 15, dudes had an in-house tournament. Tourney guys whined and complained. The quarterbacking that we was playing, it was way better in Madden 15 than what came out at retail. At retail, they said that the QB differentials were there. No, it was gone because it got nerfed out. It got took out the game on purpose because dudes that was in an in-house tournament was whining and complaining. I overthrew my receiver. I should be making every pass. Then we got the Robo QB that was the purpose of having the differentials to get rid of Robo QB, and it was right back at launch. Your crowd. So you have some work to do if you really want to get your people's mind right. That's your assignment. You don't need to talk to us. Talk to them. Talk to your people. Get them on one accord. Then we can have a real discussion. I want what's happening in the NFL, just like Sim, just like people that usually tune into this show. So at the end of the day, your crowd clearly does not want that. So they want to talk like it, but they don't want to play it. So get your crowd in order in that sense, and then we can actually have a discussion. So
it is what it is, man. I don't even think we got to go further.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's as simple as that, man.
Last thing Square Biz says. That's funny, man. I have an LLC called Square Biz, spelled different. But he says, did you know in NCAA 14 that you can physically change your ratings anytime your players? What do you mean by that? Post a comment really quick, just so I. What do you mean physically change? You mean just go in and change their ratings, or are you saying something else? Because if what you're saying, if I'm taking it literal, you can do that in any game, right? So I think you might mean something else. So if you're still listening, if you could just give me a clarification real quick while we wait, then we'll end it on that because I'm way past my time. And it's my bad, guys. We got to get back to trying to get started, like closer to 8, man. 'Cause I don't want to cheat you guys, because I be having to try to go like around 10. Really quick, man. See, this is what we talk about,
and that's why we don't have dialogue.
That's it. That's you're proving that point right there. In season mode, but again, are you mean it just changing the ratings? Because like I said, you could do that in any game, to my knowledge. If you're controlling it, I know you could do it in Madden 20 because that's why, as commissioners, we have to look at the transaction log all the time to make sure cats ain't bugging out. We'll just wait a second.
See, that's what I'm saying. That just to that point there, just real quick, he said that I do that. I do that on all the time on my show. But at the end of the day, you need to make the game change. Excuse me. Your attorney guys are still
After every game.
flipping the table over. That's your crowd, man. Like I said, you got to get your crowd in order.
And you know, I'll say this too. And then I got to get out of here.
Yeah,
I'll be
no, let's
honest
go.
in saying it's on both sides. You got guys, and I've said this several times. There's sim Nazis out there too. And what I mean by that is, I'm always saying, even on this show, why we worry so much about how they play the game. If $100,000 is on the line, I know I could take a punter, and I don't need no quarterback because the game allows me to do it. Let me get closer to the mic. The game allows me to do it. I'm doing it. I never have anything personal towards competitive and pro players. I've chopped it up with a lot of them dudes. You know, I told you, Skimbo is my guy. Problem, like I've talked to these guys, like, and we've had real dialogue. But I always tell my crowd, why we always in the chat when the tournament's on? Oh, this ain't real. Like, why we, again, just so everybody can see, I'm an equal opportunist here. We do it too. It's people on the sim side that's always nosy. And why y'all worried about that? You can't be mad at the way the comp or pro players play based on how the game is designed. Our fight should be at the higher ups because we know it's a bit above the dev level. We should be the ones saying, man, fix that. There should be a penalty for dropping back 30 yards and passing. A guy shouldn't be able to just roll right out of the pocket and keep going to the left, and then, you know, eventually the DNs and I'm gonna realize what they. That's always been my plight. Fix the game. I ain't worrying about how somebody play. Remember, I was brought to the light with Gibbs and Falls when I met those guys for the first time, and we had real conversation where they sat me and Smitty down, and Smitty remembers this, when they had that office that overlooked the balcony at EA Sports, you know, when they was on that level, and they was telling us how broken 2K8 was and all back in them days. And we had real dialogue, and I was like, yo, at the end of the day, they just do this stuff because the game lets them. It's not like that's what they wanted. Now, you have some people who do want absolutes. We know that. But on both sides, you have crazy. So I will challenge my crowd. Stop worrying about what they doing. Why are you in the chat? Why y'all all in the chat? Like, I mean, going ham in there. I be watching. I cut the chat off. And some people will say, why do you watch the tournaments? Because I want to see what's really wrong with the game from a football fundamental standpoint. Had some of us not watched the tournament, we would have never known about what Joke was able to do running the football like that with no quarterback. There you have it. But I would not have been in the chat. This is just me. I'm not attacking any of you sim guys. If you do this, it's not an attack. We don't all have to do the same thing. But I just wouldn't have been going back and forth in the chat saying how bad this is. We know this. But I'm not going to blame the comp guys. Look, bread on the line. Remember what I always say? It's a video game. I know I want it to be real, but I'm telling you right now, if there was a glitch that I could do for 100,000, you would be saying, man, Sim is wow, man. He used the such and such glitch, the Vortex swerve glitch, and one that you daggone right I did. Fix your game. For 100,000? I don't care how much money you got. You could use a free 100,000 for playing a video game. So that's what I be trying to get people to understand. I keep it real on both sides. I'm never going to blame them dudes for playing the game how they want to play it. I am going to blame the way the game is designed. That's where my issue will always be, regardless of a sim player, regardless of a comp player. That's it. And honestly, that should sum everything up about me. It's always about football with me. I don't care what you classify yourself as far as a gamer type. That's it. I think we can go off of that one. What you guys, Smitty? Go ahead and take us home.
I ain't got nothing else, man. Like I said, I appreciate everybody coming through, and hanging out here with us and everything. And look, like I said before, I'll close it out with this because your mama, look, you can go at me, all you want. You can say what you want at me all you want. But at the end of the day, your crowd wants arcade absolution. They've proven it. The tweets are out there. The videos are out there. They're vocal saying it. Address that. Handle that. If you're going to go at me and say I don't have a clue, then you definitely lost. Because you're going at me. When you got your own people to get at. And see, just the mere fact you're saying kids not from your era, that's no excuse. There's no excuse. That's your crowd.
And yes,
See, that's what
W
I'm saying.
is
You
welcome to
can't you
come up.
can't you can't exempt him. He's a Madden champion. He's part of your crowd. I don't care what part of era he is. Heck, there's people in here that are younger than us. Not everybody in here is the same age. So what? That doesn't mean we change up our dialogue because of it. So that doesn't matter. So that's what I'm saying. Like, man, all right, you got to be thorough with all this stuff, man. You ain't ready. If you're not ready to be thorough about it, then there's nothing to talk about. There's no more to discuss. So at the end of the day, guys, look, you guys know how we've been rolling. We've been doing this for over a decade at this point. We've been rocking, letting y'all know what the deal is from when we go to the studios and what's good with the game, what's not, talking with the devs, all that good stuff. We've been doing all that. We've been spitting it to y'all straight up what it is, how this game is, where we want it to be at. We've been doing that for a mighty long time. So at the end of the day, if attorney guy wants to come through, come through. We could break bread. We've had Relly on here a few times before and everything, and it's all good with the dialogue. That's not a there's never an issue with dialogue. That's not a problem. It's not like they're unapproachable or something like that. They're not plagued or something. It's just that their mental is different when it comes to their approach towards how the game should be played.
I would do the
That's it.
same research.
Yeah.
W is welcome to come on, but then I will
Yeah.
dive deeper and to see more about him. And if I see something that I don't shake with, it'll be the
Yeah.
same
It's
conversation.
gonna
Like,
be said.
I
Yeah.
decide not to.
That's it. So
Shoot,
at the end,
Smitty and Relly been on here going at it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. like,
You know,
and Relly's my guy. Like, that's my dude, though. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, that's it. That's like dudes know where we're at. And that's the whole thing. You just gotta know what's going on with your own crowd, man. You gotta take care of your crowd. I don't care if they 10 years old, playing the way they play, requested some asinine kind of stuff happening, or they're 25, 35, 45. That's just the way it is. You got to address their part of your crowd. That's part of your dynamic. So you have to address that. Fight that battle before you can try and come over here and address and tell us what, and or try to give any kind of direction in terms of what needs to happen over here. Handle that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of making videos trying to clown on me and stuff like that, put that energy into your crowd and getting the game right. That's what you're getting the game right, getting their
yeah,
mental right over there. That's what you need to be spending your energy on, not sitting here trying to go at us. So on that note,
and yeah,
you guys know who we are. Like I said, y'all got the track record. Yo, mama, if you really don't know, you need to listen to what episode is this? Episode 267. If you need to go all the way back to number one, go ahead to number one, start from there and work your way all the way up. So that way you know exactly what we are and what
and
we're about at the end of
nobody
the
is
day.
exempt from what
No
we're saying.
one's, yeah,
Because I
we've been
noticed he
doing this too
said
long. We've
Skimbo
been,
can come on, but I can look. I
yeah,
know there was some things that crept up about Skimbo too. The difference is with him, I've met and talked to him in person, and I know how he gave it up. But I would do the same. Anybody I'm not familiar with, I'm gonna do the same research. I mean, it's not a personal. See, and what I'm saying is, I wouldn't even take it that way if the shoe was on the other foot. Cause somebody could probably say, "Nah, Sim don't go crazy. He don't go in enough. I ain't rocking." I respect it,
right.
and I'll keep it. It ain't all right. Cool.
Yeah.
So that's what we're saying. It's not a
Hey,
personal thing. I
you
made a personal decision and say, nah, I don't really want to represent it that way.
no, you thin skinned, Sim. That's what that means. You thin
But
skinned and you don't know what you're
more
talking
power to
about.
you.
That's
Do
what
what
that
you
means.
do. You know,
Hey, get out of here, man.
do what you do. But whatever. I mean, I'll be that. Like my man
Yeah,
Reggie
that's
Noble
what I'm
said.
saying. I'll be it. Like that's if that's what it is. You ain't the first person to say something slick. You ain't the last. It's okay. It's okay. At the
I'll
end of the
be
day,
that.
when hey look
Shout out to Reggie Noble.
when Comp do some wild stuff, I'll make sure to point at you and say, all right, now what you about to do about that? Since you got all that energy, go ahead and focus it where it needs to be focused at. That's all we're saying at the end of the day. That's what we do. When franchise stuff ain't right, that's why we got dudes together and we talked about it the way we talked about it. That's why we did it. That's why we talk about all these sim aspects that are lacking in the game and things like that. That's why we do it. Because we our energy is where it needs to be focused at when it comes to getting this game better. That's what we do. We're not focused on a tournament crowd. The only reason why we say anything about tourney guys and stuff like that is because if something that you guys say negatively impacts the game on our end, yes, we're gonna look at you funny.
And vice
Because
versa.
yeah, and that's it. And yeah, you guys exactly. You guys do the same thing to us. So that's it, man. Like I said, we
That's
just
all.
gotta be on. We just gotta be Reggie Noble about it. That's all. And it's all good.
That's all. No problem. I mean, look, like
Yep.
I said, it's at the end of the day, these just games. You know, it shouldn't be that serious to anybody. Fight to get a better game. If you're more modest about it, if you're more reserved about it, if you're more rah rah about it, do whatever it is you think you need to do, and that's it. And yes, respect everybody else. This is not a lack of respect. I said that at the beginning of the show. You could be a very, very great person. I don't know. Because let's be real, and I'm not talking about you at all, your mama. I'm just making a simple statement. We all know there's personalities on YouTube,
Yep. That's true.
even in the Madden community, because there's some that I've been had the ability to meet on the back end, like, oh, you ain't like that at all. Me, on the other hand, this is it. I don't do, and not tooting a horn or anything like that, but I'll speak more so on my Steelers podcast, and even here, that's the reason why I think some people come listen to what I have to say or watch my stream or whatever, because I'm just me. It's not a persona. It comes natural. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it. I don't take any of this. I take it all with a grain of salt because I don't know people personally, X, Y, and Z. As far as you, I don't. So it's never an attack on you. Like I said, it was simply I saw, dang, he went kind of crazy. Nah, I choose not to do that. And that was it. It never did I say, oh, this dude. I'm not gonna do that. I don't know you. But if you choose to say that about us, then fine. That you ain't still ain't gonna get a response out of me. So, all right. But I'm out of here, man. I gotta go. And y'all saw me hit the bat phone there. That's my 6-year-old FaceTiming me because he got a new haircut. And then, yeah, he wants me to see it. So I gotta go. And I gotta go help my wife do some things. So holler at y'all later, man. Y'all be good. Like always, stay safe. It's getting real out here. Realer than a video game. Just saying. Be safe. God bless. Good night. Great weekend. Catch y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.